here. Whether you're going to start in with us today or you're just watching, thank you for coming back, and I'm super excited to get started with you guys today. Today we're going to learn 3 things. So we're going to learn the slip knot, how to hold your yarn, and the chain stitch. So this might seem silly, but it's so important to know how to do these 3 things. So grab your hook. I gotta find mine. I guess I wasn't very prepared for this. It's right here. Grab your hook, grab your yarn. All right, and we'll get started. Here we go. We're trying out this new camera setup, and it's gonna be totally weird, and I realized I didn't paint my nails. So please just bear with me here. So I have my yarn, and I don't know if you saw my post about finding the start of the yarn. It's tricky. But thankfully we have this little diagram to maybe try and help us a little bit. So you look at the heart on the packaging, which is just right here. So we have the heart. Wait, why don't I know what I'm doing? Yeah, the heart. Okay, so first you're gonna pull out the end on this side of the heart, which is really just gonna give you a big tangled mess. You guys, I wasn't kidding when I sent that. Yarn is so difficult, so tricky, and you end up just pulling out the whole center. It's okay. Do what you gotta do. Oh, I found the end. Look at that. There's that end. So we don't want to work from this end. We want to work from this end. See how it's pulling that way? That's the way we want to go. So now we have to pull out the yarn from this way. Same thing happens. And then we're gonna look for the end. Anybody see it? Anybody see it anywhere? I think that this is not the most practical way for anyone to put yarn together. It's frustrating. And I spend way too many hours untangling yarn. I can't even begin to tell you. All just to find the end. So if you are struggling here, you are not alone at all. I'm just pulling these 2 in hopes to find the end. And so far, still haven't found it. Hoping it's even in here, because if not, it is not. All right, you guys. Sure you didn't want to spend all day watching me untangle yarn. But, oh, we found it. Okay, so I found our end, and this is where we're gonna start. We're gonna learn how to do a slip knot. So there's probably 1.5 million ways to do this, but I'm just gonna show you the way that I learned how. And if this way doesn't work for you, you're welcome to look online and find a different way. So you take your yarn, and you're gonna hold 2 fingers and a thumb, and your end is gonna be down here in front of your fingers, okay? Then you're gonna wrap it around once, and let it hang down. Just hold it with your fingers so it doesn't slide anywhere. So you see, we wrap around once, around again, and let it hang. Got that far? Okay, so now you're gonna take this first one over here. Now grab the second one and pull. And then stick your hook in there. Pull. You're gonna tighten up your ends. And there's your slip knot. This is the way almost every crochet project starts. You want to leave a decent little tail on the end. You won't be using this, but you'll use it at the end to weave it in. So leave a decent little bit there. All right, we'll try it again. So put the end of your string down like this. The more you leave, the longer tail you'll have. So hold it, you wrap around once, let it hang. Over, under, stick your crochet hook right here, take your fingers out, pull, and there's your slip knot. Take your 2 ends, pull. You don't want it super tight, you want it to be able to move around. And there we go. So we have our tail and we have our working yarn. There we go, tail and our working yarn. So it's as easy as that, not too hard. Next, I'm going to show you how I hold my yarn. How you hold your yarn is super important because it helps with the tension that you're going to have. So you want all your stitches to have the same tension. And if you're just holding it, you might let go. One stitch might be bigger than another. So the way you hold it is super important. There's also another 1.5 million ways to hold your yarn. So it's about finding what's comfortable for you, okay? I like to wrap it around my pointer finger of my left hand twice. Sometimes with thicker yarn, I will only wrap it around once. But normally for like worsted weight yarn, worsted? Is that right? I forget how you say it. For the weight for the normal yarn, I will wrap it around twice. And this is how I'm gonna work. So when I work, I'm gonna work through this. And so my finger is keeping a good tension on my string. Sometimes you'll have to adjust it, but it's always good to keep that tension the same. So what I was doing right there is our chain stitch. Did you catch it? No, I'll go back and show you how to do it. So you wanna go back to where your slip knot is. Well, I go back to where slip knot is. Okay, so you'll learn how to hold your yarn. Like I said, I wrap it around twice. If you feel like once is enough, you can just wrap it around once. Nope, look at me. I'm instinctively going for twice. Wrap it around once, that's fine too. Just kind of hold it with your pinky, and we can go like that. Works just the same. So I have my camera really close, so I can't really show you too far away. All right, we're gonna learn the slip stitch, okay? So I'm holding my yarn like this. I like to put my middle finger and my thumb right by the knot. It gives me a good, even stronger foundation to work with here. You see that tension? My yarn isn't all flippity floppity here. We're gonna keep it tight. Okay, so here's how you do the slip stitch. I'm gonna get close, I hope we can see this. All right, so we're gonna take our hook, holding onto the knot. We're gonna wrap it under. So under, your hook is gonna catch the yarn, and you're just gonna pull it through your slip knot. And there's a chain stitch. Do it again, wrap it under. I'm making a chain. Under, through. You got it? Under, hook it, through. So this is the stitch that most people can get, but then after that, they lose hope. But mastering the chain stitch is so important. So we have 2 little stitches here, or 3. I don't remember how many I did. 3. We have 1, 2, 3. You see these little V's? We have 1 here. It makes a V. Those are your stitches. We have 1, 2, 3. So just keep working on chaining. Under, grab the hook, grab the yarn, through. Under, pull through. Under, pull through. And you can just keep moving your finger, your thumb and your middle finger up forward to keep that like tension really good. And you just keep going. Soon you can chain till the cows come home. I don't think anybody here has cows. If they do, that's pretty cool. All right. So soon you'll have a whole line of chains. Super fun. So when you get a pretty decent line, I'm gonna have you rip it out. Rip it out all the way to the end and start again. If you need to redo your slip knot, you can. And we're just gonna start again. So chaining is so important. That learning the act, the motion of moving your wrist, holding onto the yarn, this is where it all comes from, you guys. You gotta get comfortable with feeling uncomfortable, because I'm sure this probably feels foreign to a lot of people. But once you get the hang of it, around, pull through, around, pull through. Once you get the hang of it, it'll feel super natural. So you see how all my stitches are pretty even? Like the tension looks even, they look all about the same. When you first start, they may not look like that. You might have some really big ones, you might have some really small ones, and that's okay. The more that you work through it, the more consistent your hook, your stitches are going to be. So if you do a really loose stitch, it's gonna be really big. So if you're just going really loose stitches, see there's hardly any tension on my yarn here, you're gonna get bigger stitches. Oops. And it's harder. Do you see how much bigger these ones are from my other ones? But as long as they're consistent, it doesn't really matter. So this week, it might seem boring, but this is where I want you guys to start. So just really quick, under, grab the yarn, through, under, grab the yarn, through, and we have some chains. I can't wait to see all of your guys' posts. I want to see pictures of your chains from the very first one. No matter how sloppy it looks, you guys are gonna do awesome, but I want to see all of them. Yeah, happy crocheting. Please comment if you have any questions at all. I am here to help and direct you in any way I can. And I will talk to you later, guys. Happy crocheting.